Okay, so I had this dream last night. I had this dream, and in it, I was it was like I was gonna walk across this plank thing, and there was like I don't know, like a mud, like no, not really mud. It was like this sand like beach sand kind of, but it was here in Connecticut because there were a lot of forests and stuff like that, and it was nighttime, and there were people there, and I remember that at some point walking through the woods before we got to that plank thingy, to the bridge, it was everybody started singing. I don't even know. I think I might have started it. I think I started the song, and it was that Time Warp song from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and we like all started doing the Time Warp dance and stuff like that. It was really really funny. Um, and then okay, so kind of want to talk about what I did yesterday. Yesterday I walked a lot. I ended up walking like 27 miles. It was like close to 27 miles. And you know, I've been really experimenting a lot with like, you know, if you see my other videos, it's like foods and fluids and smoking and like physical activity. Water seems to be one that's cropping up a lot. And I wanted to talk about like results that I see in my immediate reality when all those things are combined and what I'm eating and what's being produced. So let's see. I woke up in the morning and I bundled up. Okay, this is okay. Is that what happened? Yeah. Okay. So I had a veterans appointment, and I was like, I'm determined to bike there, and it's about a 13-mile bike ride, which really isn't a big deal. So I looked at Google Maps, and it said like an hour and a half, and I'm like, okay, well I'll just add an hour onto that just to be sure that I'm there on time. So the appointment's at 9 o'clock. I get up at 6, and it takes me about a half hour, like exactly, to get ready. So I got my bike ready. I'm all bundled up. I go to the store. I get a pack of cigarettes. I'm not sure if I got something to drink. I didn't get anything to drink. And then I remember looking at the sky, and the sky was like this dark, dark, dark blue, but it was like this really pretty, vibrant blue. I'm not even sure if you can see that. You see that blue at the bottom there? Those Tetris layup things? It looked like that, but really, really concentrated, like a real concentrated blue. Actually, maybe you can see this. Oh, see, it doesn't look the same as it does to my eyeballs. Okay, well, anyways, it was a real concentrated blue, and I remember seeing, like, very little cloud, well, yeah, like, not as many clouds, like, it was just a very colorful blue clouds, and then I could see, like, the sun was kind of trying to come out, beyond the clouds. And it looked like the bubble that I talk about being in, it looked like the bubble was a little bit smaller than usual, but it was really, really pretty. So, and just to talk about the night before that, the night before yesterday morning, it was like real beautiful. It was like real misty, and it was like every color you could imagine. Well, I mean every color that I can think of. It was like the like red and like a light red, and then purple and like white, and I mean it was like rainbow colors like all surrounding me, and like real misty and stuff like that. It was so beautiful, and it reminded me, and it was like, oh yeah, I heard Spirit, and Spirit was like telling me that this is what it's like to be in the center of the sun. It's this concentrated frequency, this concentrated colors, and which reminds me of my home planet, which is like concentrated oxygen, and yeah, and then okay, so so anyways, I remember it being very warm outside, but in the inside of my body, it wasn't very comfortable. There was something about like eating a lot of food that goes into my bowels, and it's like I'm only gonna tell you what I know or what I think I know, and it's like all this oxygen that rolls in. It's like it goes straight to my bowels, and then it's like my blood goes straight there, and it's working real hard. And it was like the harder I biked, like the more cold my hands got, the more cold like my extremities got. And I was like really irritated and uncomfortable because I just wanted to be really, really warm. But I felt like there was so much in my bowels that it's like, you know, I'm so hyper that I tend to like dissolve most of what I eat in like just being myself, like moving around my thoughts alone. I feel like just by breathing and moving and thinking so much and listening to spirit that like pretty much almost everything that I am eating, it feels like that's what, you know, it's like no matter what I take in, my energy immediately meshes with it, and it's produced immediately in my metabolism. You know, I feel like I immediately metabolize things depending on what it is. It's just like immediately metabolizes. And there's something about, well, I'm getting really ahead of myself. So anyways, I was biking and I was getting really irritated, and I'm and like I got all the directions written out and stuff from Google Maps, and I get like real close to where my destination is, and I'm looking at my phone and it's like 3 minutes till 9, and I'm just not close enough. Like I'm not gonna make it on time. So I stop and I'm all exhausted, and it's like I'm real irritated because I didn't make it on time. And, you know, I'm like in the midst of almost wanting to cry just because like I'm so exasperated, you know, and exhausted because I hadn't eaten anything. And also, yeah, like before I even got to that point, I was like so cold that I was stopping anywhere to stay warm. So it was like, it's probably what wasted my time, but it really didn't waste it because I stopped at this one place at first. And I ended up, it was like just a hole-in-the-wall donut shop. And I went in there and I was like talking to people, and that warmed me up. And then I got one of their coffees and it kind of warmed me up, but not enough or something. It was like, it made me sweat more, which made more evaporation, which made me kind of cold. But I was like, well, the experience, okay, that was cool. So then I kept going, and then I found a CVS. And I went to the CVS and I had to pee. So I asked them if I could use their bathroom. And then I went in there, and there were these gloves that I had bought at Zoomies, and they said grenade on them, and they had like like skeleton, like a skeleton, like bones and stuff like that. I thought they were pretty cool, but I was like so concentrated on how cold I was and how badly I had to go to the bathroom that I took them off. I put them on the sink, and like the only way to get, and then I left out of there, and the only way to get back in there was like this pad that only people that work there, they have the actual number. And I was like, crap, you know, like I was looking around for anybody that was working there, but no one was in my immediate moment. So I was like, well, oh well, like I have to go because I have this appointment, you know. Like time runs us into the ground. I'm noticing time really runs us into the ground, but it's not just time, it's like the way we perceive it. Well, the way I perceive it. I was so concentrated on keeping warm, so concentrated on having to pee, so concentrated on getting there on time, and I only have a bike now because my car got totaled. So it's like, you know, I felt like I was stressing myself out. But when I really think about, like, you know, finding that it's snowing out right now, finding out that I left my gloves there, I was like, you know, I had brought an extra pair of gloves. It was like I just got those gloves and I was like really pleased with them. But then I thought, well, they're already gone, so maybe this is like natural geocaching, you know? So I was like, oh well, the gloves are there, I have to go. I don't have time for that. So it's just so funny, right? So anyways, I just keep biking and okay, so now I'll zoom into the future here where I'm now up like a very high elevation, and I felt like so uncomfortable, and I was like, dang it. And in the midst of all that, I realized that I had lost my scarf. My scarf flew off. It was like a North Face scarf. It was like a really warm, soft scarf. I was like, man, are you kidding me right now? Like, I just geocached my gloves and my scarf, and I don't know. All I can think is I hope somebody found it, because they're nice gloves and it's a nice scarf. So now I'm even colder because like now I don't have a scarf. Now I don't have these gloves, but I got all the gloves, so at least I had that. I'm trying to bundle up even more, you know what I mean? And I'm just so uncomfortable, and I'm like, where is the sun? Like it was so cloudy, so cloudy. So then I'm like, I'm just exhausted at that point. I'm totally exhausted. I get off the bike. I put the little thing down, rest the bike. I go up to the nearest tree, and I just like put my face in like the leaves of this tree. and the tree just kind of like does this shivering motion, like an excited shivering motion. And I'm like, oh, you know, it was like this total communication. And I like just, all I asked for was for warmth. I was like, I really just need to warm up and I need to calm down. And it was like they brushed this wind over me, and normally it's like wind makes you uncomfortable when it's cold out, but I was like so upset and uncomfortable that whatever elements they gave me in that moment, whatever that oxygen was like exactly what I needed, because I felt so much better that knowing that I was communicating and I was getting a response, instead of being so frustrated and uncomfortable with timelines, with time in general, and trying to be self-sufficient and making there on time, and like being outside. And you know, because I really think that like the trees miss people, you know. It's like, you know, here in Connecticut it gets really cold out and not too many people are out. But I think that's why I like the city so much. People are out all the time, regardless of the weather. They're out all the time. And it's like, you know, I look around my neighborhood here and I'm like, I don't see too many people walking around. So it's like, you know, I always think the trees miss people. You know, the trees miss people being outside. So I try to be outside no matter, like, regardless of the weather. So I'm like out trolling all the time. And so I finally calmed down, and then the sun starts coming up. Like the sun literally started coming out. And I was like, oh, this is so great. Like, it's so wonderful that the sun came out, because it's what I really, really needed. Like, I picture this world that just has like this amazing, comfortable temperature. So I guess it's like when I have so much sun inside of me, like so much sunshine and happiness and everything. Like this morning I woke up and I had drank a lot of water last night. I was like so exhausted, dude. Oh man, I was like so exhausted. Well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So anyways, like I get back on the, no, I don't get back on the bike. I just walk. I just start walking, and my system started warming up a lot better, and I was getting all super like frustrated because now I gotta like reverse the directions that I wrote down. It was such a frustrating, ridiculous day, but I got through it. So, you know, the sun's coming out even more, and I'm talking my mind pockets to, like, you know, just by myself. I probably look like one of them people in the city that everybody looks at and they're like, oh, they're crazy. But I'm like, you know, I'm not crazy. This is what I do. I talk to myself all the time. Or I talk to the internet and whoever wants to watch. So it's like, so now I'm walking with a bike. I'm trying to figure out where to go. I'm getting confused and frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Let's just relax for a minute. So I take the Dr. Pepper out of my bag. I got like one of them little mini cans of Dr. Pepper. I take that out, crack it open, take a sip, and I'm like, oh, I just needed to like hydrate a little or something. I don't know. It just felt better. So then I find the sun, and I'm looking on my phone. I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, Google Maps and how to use it. And my phone's like telling me that it's not finding my location. It needs something else. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, why is this not working right now? So I'm getting even more frustrated, but I'm like, I gotta calm down. So then I just make a decision as to where to go. I find a park, and I'm like, oh, let's just relax completely and let the sun warm myself up. I feel like a cold-blooded steak sometimes. Like, I just need to sit in the sun and just, like, warm up. Like, I really just need to warm up. Like, being warm is, like, my thing. So I calm down, and I'm trying to warm up, and then all I can think about is sex. So I'm all super frustrated, talking about sex to myself, talking about sex and how much I miss it and all this other stuff. It's so ridiculous. Like, I just want to be honest about it. I was like so frustrated in that moment. It was like something about being super duper frustrated in the moment that makes your face look severe, that fires you up and makes you like sweat, like being uncomfortable or upset, that like brings that to the surface. Because then that was all I could think about. Like, there's something about working out hardcore, whether you're doing it by like running or pumping your muscles or whatever, or just being completely uncomfortable in your own emotions, that like bring the sexual tension to the surface. And I was like, geez, look at me now. Like, this is even more ridiculous now. Now I've geocached 2 items that I really enjoyed. I didn't make my appointment on time. I can't figure out where to go. My technology isn't working, and now I'm sexually frustrated. I was like, this is ridiculous. But I'm like, but the sun's out, so I should be happy about that, right? So I was like, okay, laughing at myself, talking to my mom. So anyways, so then I just keep walking and keep walking and keep walking. I finally make it into the city. I finally make it into the city, and I find a Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm like, yay, Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, let's just get a warm coffee. So I get a warm coffee, and I start warming up a little bit better. And then I sat down in the institution, and there's this blind guy there. And this blind guy is like cracking jokes and talking, and no one's really paying attention. And so there's only a couple people there, but he's talking. So he noticed, I think he noticed that I was there, because he started like talking and asking who I was. So I tell him my name, and then, you know, he just starts talking, and he shows me his phone, which was really cool. His phone had like Braille on it. It was like an iPhone. I'll just use this as an example, okay? He had like an iPhone, but it had like, it was right here down the middle, and he had like little dots there, and it was Braille. I thought that was really cool. It was like he was using it, but he was just kind of going like this and like talking and stuff and like this and talking some more. And I was like, wow, that's really neat. And it was like we were just talking to each other, and it was really cool. And he asked me to like throw away some of his papers, so I took some of his papers, I threw it away, and we were talking. He was and I asked him like how he became blind. He was talking about that, and then something that seemed kind of weird was like I was about to leave, so I like touched his shoulder, and you know, real softly, like real softly, and he kind of barked back at me, and he was like, "Don't touch me." And I was like, wow, it seemed like such a strange disconnect, because I felt like he was so aware of who I was and my personality, but I don't know, it was like a really strange moment. So then I just like, I asked the lady that was kind of sort of next to me, and I asked her what her name was, and I think she said Indiana. It was a really pretty name, whatever it was. And then I remember shaking her hand, and her gloves were really cool. She like cut them. And I was like, those are really neat. She's like, I made them myself, and I thought that was cool too. So anyways, then I got my bike, and I kept walking and walking and walking, and I finally got home. So I got home, and then, oh yeah, so I'd already called up my vet center appointment lady, and I already made another appointment, so that's good. And she was happy that I at least like got some exercise. So it's like, even if nothing worked exactly as planned, the universe had some sort of plan, and that was all those moments in between, I suppose. So, yeah, then I get home, and I'm like, well, I feel exhausted, but I feel productive. So I was like, all right, let's do some laundry, and I cleaned the house, and I took a shower, and I scrubbed the crap out of my body, and I felt nice and warm and comfy. And then I waited for the laundry to get done, because I was sweating hardcore. So then after that was done, I put the clothes back on. And then I walked around some more. And I kept walking and walking and walking. And at this point, I hadn't really eaten anything. I think I had like, you know those espresso beans? They got like espresso beans with like chocolate over it. Dude, them things are great. I got them on Amazon. They're really, really good. They just like keep you going. They taste really good. It's like a good balance or whatever. Okay, so anyways. So I think I had a couple of those. And then I go back outside. And I'm walking and walking and walking. And I'm like looking at the trees and stuff, and I think I went to, I'm trying to think of where I went to. I think I went to the mall. Yeah, I think I went to the mall here. It's like a mile and a half away or something like that. I don't know. And I went there, and it was like, I realized that like, I think like the clothes that I wear seem to attract certain things. You know what I mean? I know it's silly to talk about, but there's something about like, your inner colors matching your outer colors that really seems to make a difference in people, because I know I was wearing a Raiders jacket, you know, like I like the Raiders because like they're this no crap, like they got this drive to them, you know what I mean? Like they got this drive, and I really appreciate like the aggressive drive, like that motivation that, you know, like not like hurting people and stuff like that, but just like this inner drive that gets you going. So I always like appreciated it. You know, I don't know a whole lot about the team. I just know that they're known for that. So I got this jacket. I got this Raiders hat on too. It's real warm. But I noticed like the attention that's attracted with severe colors or severe something. You know what I mean? Like a couple people had called me a guy, which I kind of like sometimes. I like playing with my gender and stuff like that. But there was something about like women. There's something about certain women that seem to like bring something different to the table because I was at this Dunkin' Donuts, and I remember getting asking for, like, you know, to use their key to pee, and she was kind of like ignoring it a little bit. And you know, it was like I asked for a coffee, and she seemed very impatient. And she was like, you know, it was like I had to hurry up. She was like rushing me. And I was like, whoa, this should be a really good experience. So I was a little confused by that. But I was like, okay, you know, she's having a rush situation, so I'll just rush with her. So I got the coffee. And I asked for whipped cream. I didn't get it, but that's okay. So anyways, she tells me my coffee is ready. So I go to get the coffee from her. But I take my hat off first. And it was like something about that moment. My hair, I don't know if she saw everything come together instead of looking at the severe colors that I was wearing. Because immediately she was like, I saw like her face, I felt her energy, and it was like everything smoothed out. Everything calmed down immediately. Like something about my like gay, gentle appearance. Like I don't know what it is, man. But there's something about the severity of my clothes and then showing her something else, like taking a mask off in some respects, that she totally reacted differently. And I asked her for the key to the bathroom, and she was like totally cool with it. Like everything became so much more gentle in that moment by removing a severe clothing record and showing her who I was or something. I don't know. So everything was like pretty smooth after that with that lady. I thought that was really interesting about that. It's like role play, but it's also like cosplay. You know what I mean? It's like something about what you dress and how and the way you look, as well as your personality. Because some people don't see the personality until they see what they're seeing. You know what I mean? Until they see it. So okay. So that was then. So, you know, I said I walked to the mall, and I was like determined. I was like, you know what? There's something about matching on the outside that, you know, that you have to remember who you are on the inside, because sometimes both have to match. They has to match for certain people to like see what's going on. So let me show you the jacket that I got, and I'll show you the difference. Alright, so this is what I was wearing, okay? I was wearing this. Alright, it's a Raiders jacket. It's really nice. I mean, it's super, super warm, you know what I mean? I mean, I like it a lot because it's really, really warm. But when I see people's reactions, I always like wonder. You know, I always question. I wanna understand what makes people feel happier and comfortable. So then I'm like, okay, well, what makes me happy and comfortable? So then I went to the store, went to Zoomies, and I don't know if you guys ever got like the Samsung Galaxy. You know, anybody that's got one, but it comes with a picture immediately on it. And it's something real soothing about that picture and everything. And what do I find? I find a jacket that has that exact picture on it. So immediately I see this, and I'm like, dude, done and done. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of expensive. It was like $99 or something like that. But I was like, you know what? Like, if it makes that much of a difference in me, and that much of a difference in, like, people's personalities to see the true colors that are within me, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Raiders or these colors here, but what I'm saying is that I notice a huge difference. When I put this on, I notice a big difference in my reality. And it's really funny to think about, because it should be just about personalities and the way you express yourself, but I'm realizing sometimes it needs more than that. It needs more than that. I mean, maybe it doesn't, but I'm only telling you what I experienced. So, I'm a lot happier with these colors. I mean, it's just like so, like, beautiful. I don't know, it's just so pretty and warm and soft and loving and stuff like that. And even my roommate, like, I got home and I was like, you know, I had this on, and it was like, he was all super excited and I was all super excited, and like, and then I was like kind of sort of like feeling drained a little bit. So I had so funny the concoctions I come up with. I had like this this like little tin thing, and I put what is it called? Maple syrup and rainbow sprinkles and caramel. Oh, and I have sea salt, so I was like grounding some sea salt in there, and it was like as soon as I ate that, I was like immediate circulation. My body was warm. I felt comfortable, and it was like, you know, something about eating a lot of food for my body something about eating a lot of food that, like, I don't know. It doesn't warm me up as quickly as it does when I eat sugar or something like that. I don't know. My system just seems to be a little different than what I'm used to seeing in other people. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that's about. But I had to express that. Oh, and let me talk about the sunset last night. So I'm at the mall, and it's like around sunset. It's like maybe 4:35, and I get up there, and it's like the sky is so clear. The sky is so clear. And the sunset is like bright orange, bright red, and I look like around, like I look in a circle, and it's like there's this soft blue and soft, it's like kind of like that, and purple. It was like, I mean, basically, I guess kind of like, well, I don't know, it's like a soft blue purple. Like a, okay, here we go. This looks a lot like it. Right here. It was like that, kind of. And it was so pretty. And that was like surrounding me. But in front, where the sun was like bright red, bright orange. It looked like, it reminded me of Sedona. It reminded me of Arizona. And it was just like leveled out. And you saw the sun. And everything was like totally exposed and beautiful. And what made me super happy was like these people just like drove up to the top of that place where it's like a restaurant, but it's like where the mall area is. And they got out of their car and they were taking pictures, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like, this is what I love seeing, is like people enjoying the weather and people enjoying the sunsets and like taking the time out to check that out. There's something really beautiful that I find in like watching people enjoy something a lot. And I guess appreciating nature is like a real big one for me, because I feel like so many beautiful things are shown all the time. So when I see people enjoying it too, I get like super duper excited about it. So that was my whole day yesterday. That was a lot of talking. So now what I'm doing is I got this giant pencil, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm saving it for a rainy day. Well, it's snowing now, so I guess I'm saving it for today. This giant pencil that I've had since I was like 7 or something. It's so full of money. So I got these right here. Wham! I walked to the bank. I don't know how long. I mean, when was the last time you did this? You know what I'm saying? You were like, what, like 7 years old? Who does this anyway? I don't know. Maybe people do it more than I think they do. So I haven't done this in a while. So I'm gonna see just how much money I got in this buddy, and then I'm gonna go paint the town red again, and I'll tell you about it when I get back. All right, thanks for watching.